Welcome to the podcast. Today, my guest is John Connley.
G'day,
Conley.
Scott. Conley.
Not Connolly.
No.
Conley.
Conley. Yeah.
Conley.
It's so easy, it's hard.
You've been around the music industry for quite a while. What are your first memories of music in general?
Well, Mum and Dad, but Dad was a violin player, Mum played piano, and I started piano pretty young, but then I moved to the violin and quite enjoyed that. But when I discovered the guitar at 13, that was it. I was done, gone.
So,
Yeah.
piano to violin,
Yeah.
were that decisions that were made for you, or was that something that you felt drawn to?
No, I think they were made for me, really. Well, we had a piano and we had violin, so it was,
It was obvious.
it was a pretty obvious move, yeah.
What introduced you to guitar? Was that a school thing or one of your friends?
I'm trying
or?
to think, Scott. Yes. My grandmother, this was in Melbourne, so I was born in Melbourne, and my grandmother lived in South Yarra, which is now like, massively trendy suburb. It wasn't then. And she used to have a boarding house. She had people living there that she'd cook for them and all that sort of stuff, and they lived there and everything. And there were two German ladies that lived there, sisters, and they had a guitar that they used to, well, apparently walk through the Black Forest singing with this guitar, and they gave it to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
It's a very generous gift.
It was wonderful. Yeah, and so that's really where I started, and then got later on, got less. I first of all started like we all did, playing Beatles songs and what have you, and then we moved to Canberra, and I had some violin lessons there, but that didn't go so well, and so I started on classical guitar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I learned from a lady there called Sadie Bishop, who is George Washing Machine's mother. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I started playing the double bass in the Canberra Youth Orchestra sort of after that. And George was in the second violins. He was about 11 or something.
How much of your musical training came from the schooling system as opposed to private lessons?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Do you mean like the actual school system, like the actual?
Look, was there much music in the school
No.
system back then?
No, absolutely
So it was all
not.
outside of school?
It was
pretty
all
much?
outside of school, really. Although, me and a couple of mates, we used to play for the school play and all that, and you had to do music as was just one of the subjects you had to do, but it wasn't a subject you could take in the high school certificate. You couldn't be really serious as a music student.
Okay.
So that didn't exist. But having said that, we used to play for the shows, the school plays
musical,
and what, the musical and what have you. Yeah, so that was pretty good. And playing in the Canberra Youth Orchestra was fantastic. That was really good.
Introduced you to a lot of great players?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and a lot of great music. Yeah.
So you do play several instruments?
Well, basically guitar and bass, electric and double bass.
Not
yeah.
too much on piano anymore?
No, zero piano. I do have a keyboard, but that's for just mucking around on, really.
So, obviously you're taking guitar lessons.
Yeah.
How did the bass part of it come about?
Well, it's kind of a bit of a fluke, really. I had a friend who, at school, his father was a professional musician in the army bands. He'd been a conductor in the army band, so he knew quite a bit about music. And he was going to audition for the Canberra Youth Orchestra on clarinet. But if he didn't get into that, he had a backup plan, which is because he used to play cello as well. So his backup plan was on going in on double bass because he knew they didn't have... They only had about one double bass or two maybe. But he did say to me, listen, if I get in on clarinet, do you want to do the double bass? And I went, yeah, sure. So that happened. He got in on clarinet So I took the opportunity to get in on the double bass.
Had you played double bass before taking this opportunity?
I'd only played at school, so
you knew about a double.
I knew about a double. I knew
You'd held one before.
Yeah, I had held one before, and as you know, the bottom strings are the same as on a guitar. So
yeah,
octave lower.
Except, you're playing upright, and you've got no frets.
No frets. Well, I had played
the
violin.
You had played violin, so
yeah, so I kind of
I guess that translates.
But yeah, so I did understand the.
What about the tech? Was the technique for playing bass, double bass in an orchestra very simplified, or is it like? Because I see all of the rockabilly double, and there's that slapping, and there's a lot of different technique going on there.
Yeah, that's a very interesting technique, but no, in the orchestra it's essentially arco playing, so with a bow.
Oh, with a bow.
Always playing with a bow. Occasionally there's a few little pizzicato pieces, but it's a different sort of pizzicato to jazz. The pizzicato is very plummy and like a. It's hard to explain, but in jazz, it's got a sort of an attack, and it just the note is plummy and it's over. Whereas in jazz, you're trying to get like a long note, Yeah. So, but it was great learning arco, and there's a lot of challenges in classical music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'd imagine there would be.
Very, very good. And I did get some lessons on the double bass, which kind of helped. Yeah. So that was.
You were doing classical lessons on guitar. Did that involve reading?
Yeah.
Because you were doing lessons, was that through a graded system of doing exams and stuff as well?
Well, I didn't do exams, although you probably could have. It wasn't as the AMEB was. Now there is a very good classical course, and I don't remember. I didn't really ever do that, although I was doing the same material, So no, I didn't do exams. But I just loved playing it, and it was really fun.
The reading aspect.
Yeah.
I guess that's something that's really been quite beneficial throughout your career.
Yes, it has.
Like, what was the thing that drew you to playing jazz?
Well, I used to listen to a program on the ABC, which is because my parents went into jazz. In fact, I think they thought it was the naughty music, the devil.
Now that was rock and roll, wasn't it?
That came later. Yeah, jazz was the original devil. But there used to be a program on the ABC every night called Music to Midnight, which went from 10 p.m. to midnight. So I'd be working, doing, homework and what have you, or just lying in bed, and I'd listen to that every night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how I got into it.
So you absorbed it through radio?
Yeah, absolutely. And I can remember I used to love Dixieland because I could understand that.
Oh,
I said,
wow.
that's so fantastic. I love it. And Don Burrows would come on and go, that's way too modern, Don't get it. But,
so because you play a bit of banjo.
Yeah.
Has that come from the Dixieland?
Wouldn't have mentioned that, no.
Well, you know all the banjo jokes.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Did the banjo, does that come from the Dixieland? Is that where you first heard banjo? Where did you first hear banjo?
Yeah, probably. Probably in Dixieland bands around Canberra, yeah. There was quite a lot of pretty good Dixie bands, trad bands in Canberra. Oh, wow. And some of them had, quite a few of them had pretty good banjo players, yeah. I didn't really play banjo till way later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, till pretty much about 10 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. It wasn't an instrument that sort of grabbed me that way, but it's handy for some situations because it's loud, and so you can keep up with a band without having to plug it into anything or without having like a pickup or anything.
So if you're doing a purely acoustic gig, it's a great implement.
Yeah, that's right. So you can keep up with a drum, a drummer, if you've got the banjo, Yeah. It's a funny instrument, banjo. I don't know. Have you sort of...
I've got one.
Yeah. 5-string?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the high E on the top.
Yeah, right.
And I've learned how to do banjo roll.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Louis Sheldon
wow.
taught me.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know he played banjo. Hello. When I got a gig, I got a gig. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think I mentioned so I was playing in a trad band, and I mentioned, I've got a 6-string banjo. I don't know why I said I did have a 6-string banjo, which is tuned like a guitar.
Yeah, they call it a ganjo.
Yeah, well, it's not really, but I had this one, and it was just. And anyway, I'd mentioned that I got it, and this guy said, right, I've got a gig next week. I want the banjo. And I'm going, oh, okay. So I've got it out, and I started playing. And I honestly, Scott, I could not stand the sound of it. It was just horrible. It was just... And I don't know whether it was... I know you can get good ones. Like Ian Date's got a really good 6-string banjo. It sounds fantastic, but he paid quite a bit of money for it.
So what makes for a good sounding banjo?
Oh, same as a guitar. It's well made. It's got nice
Consistent,
material.
even.
Yeah.
Nice.
Made of nice timber, nice material, nice brass or whatever
So
it is.
a bit more warmth and not too strident.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, so I went down to the guitar shop and I said, "Oh, what sort of banjos do they play? In trad bands?" Because I didn't really know. And he said, "Oh yeah, you need one of these. It's this banjo that's tuned in fifths, just like a cello. So C, G, D, A, and it's a tenor banjo, right? So here so I took it home and started, and then I realised I'm never going to get this together because it's totally different tuning. It's all in fifths. It's the same as a violin or a cello.
Yeah, so you can't apply guitar chords to it.
You can't you've got to learn your chords. So I thought, well, if I get B flat and F down, I'll be halfway there, So I started, but then I realised, oh, no, it's not going to work. So I tuned it like the top 4 strings of a guitar, yeah. And then I found out that wasn't the guitar that wasn't the banjo they use at all. They use the plectrum banjo in trad bands mostly. Oh. Yeah, which is a different tuning and really weird tuning. It's very strange. But that's the one that you see where the banjo player's going, like melodies with chords.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's called a plectrum banjo, and that's the one most of the trad band guys use.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a very strange... And you know how you never see them really take single note solos?
Yeah.
On when they're playing that? It's because you can't, because the tuning is so weird. It's like a fifth, a third and a minor third. So it's just, the patterns are like, so, very strange.
What other instruments, weird and eclectic, have you managed to get your hands on? Have you ever played a lap steel or a...
No, I haven't. No, I wish I had have. Yeah. No, I haven't. That'll be a project coming up.
A project coming up?
Yeah.
You leave school.
Yep.
Is music what you do for a living when you leave school, or do you do something else?
Look, I'd been doing gigs, some on guitar, some on bass. Like I had a little piano trio, that we used to do gigs around Canberra, and we were doing. I had some guitar work, but mostly jazz. I was seriously into jazz. Like rock and roll had passed me by really for some reason, so we were I was doing little gigs and things like that, but I was at university. But
what were you studying?
Economics.
Economics?
Yeah. Anyway, we decided that the jazz course just opened in Sydney. Mm-hmm. This is 71, I think it was. And so he was a saxophone player and we'd been doing gigs, and he said, look, why don't we just go up there and give it a go? So I went, yep, sweet. So we withdrew from university, packed the car up, drove to Sydney, and enrolled in the Conservatorium, the jazz course, which had just started. So that was great. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Who was teaching there?
Well, it was Don Burrows and George Golla. Well, Don had basically got it going.
George Golla was an amazing guitar player.
He was great, yeah. I did get lessons from him too. It was fantastic. He was so good. And Don had brought out a guy from America called Howie Smith, who was like besides being a fantastic saxophone player, he was also well versed in, the sort of pedagogy of university, blah, blah, blah. So he'd set up the course, which he'd set it up like an American one. And, so you'd do things like you'd do improvisation, you'd do small group playing, you'd play in the big band, you'd do and arranging, and things like that. They hadn't, maybe a bit of jazz history here and there, but they were sort of getting it ready to become as it later did, first of all a diploma and then a degree course.
All right.
Yeah. So that was very exciting. It was a lot of fun.
How long did you spend doing that at uni?
Oh, it would have been about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, what qualification did that?
Well, at that stage of the proceedings, it didn't have a qualification, you see. So it was more or less like, there's a name for it that I can't think. But anyway, so I'd basically finished it all, and then they brought in the diploma. So they said, oh, look, you can start up again and go through the diploma. But I went,
really?
Do it all again?
Back in those days, was university free?
Well, this was, you're right, it did become free, but by the time, because it wasn't a university course then, so it wasn't free. And then, of course, fees came back later on, so I managed to dodge the free university. Damn it. And so later on, years later, I went back and did a composition degree at the Con, 2000 to 2004.
So curious, why would you do that? Why would you go back to uni after all those years away?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I was hoping that I might be able to do like teaching I've been teaching already.
So you could add a dip ed to the...
Yeah, that's right.
And have all the qualifications.
That's right. And I figured if I go back, I've got to do something I enjoy, otherwise you don't want to do it, So I picked composition. Which, that was a wake-up call, let me tell you. But because composition at the Conservatorium is, modern art music.
Oh.
Yeah, modern art music, right? And I tell you what, it's modern. It's atonal. Yeah,
Very
it's atonal.
eclectic.
If you write tonal music, you're out. No,
Oh, wow.
Not out, but yeah, it's very atonal and...
Great for weird movies.
Well, I spent the first 6 months going, I'm listening to an amazingly scary film score, But after that, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. It took me 6 months, but I got it. And I went, I'm getting what because they're way ahead of us, really. They're like 100. People probably won't enjoy it for another 100 years or so, but.
I had a friend of mine who, when I was younger, I was into pop, rock, blues. I didn't get the jazz thing. And I had a friend who was like, trying to educate me.
Right.
And his thing to me was, it's about developing your ear, and the more you develop your ear, the more that you will.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess, the atonal thing is probably a similar thing. It
is.
Developing your ear.
It's exactly the same, yeah. See, when I first was playing around Sydney, we had a band called Out to Lunch, which was an avant-garde trio. It was bass, alto sax and drums. And it was just, it was atonal.
So you didn't have a chordal instrument?
No chordal instrument.
No chordal instrument at all?
No. And the saxophone player wrote all these sort of really intricate songs. And we made an album. Yeah. You get used to atonal sounds, and then when you'd hear somebody playing a bossa nova, you'd go, oh, gee, that's a bit tame, you know what I mean? But as you grow older...
So you yearn for the stuff that's different?
Yeah, that's right. So I guess that stood me a bit of stead with good stead for when I got, faced with this atonal modern classical music, Yeah.
Yeah.
But doing the degree was fantastic because I just learnt it's not all atonal. It's only in the rest of it is, 4-part writing for, for orchestras and what have you, and SATB, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, blah, blah, blah. All the rules, no doubling of this. So it was proper harmony, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was great.
You played with Galapagos Duck.
Yeah.
Did you form the band?
No. No, the band had started in 1968.
Oh, so it's been going for a long time.
A long time, yeah.
When did you join?
1981.
Okay, and so well before you did the course.
Yeah, way before that, yeah.
What instrument were you playing in Galapagos Duck?
Bass.
Okay.
Yeah, electric bass. I didn't play double bass. I didn't have one. I did play it, but I was really trying to be a guitarist, you see. And actually Tom Hare, the band leader, did offer me the gig on guitar because I was playing in the late night band at the Basement, which I don't know whether have you heard of the Basement?
Oh yeah, the Basement City is an iconic
City.
institution.
Yeah, that's right. And so I was playing in the late band. I'd played in other bands on the Monday. See, the Monday and Tuesday, the Duck used to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday and Tuesday were for sort of more out there stuff, And,
So you're basically playing 7 nights a week.
Well, I wasn't, no, but there was 7 nights a week music in the. 6 nights a week because Sunday was off in those days. They didn't play Sunday.
Didn't play Sundays.
No, that was, yeah. So, so I was playing in the late band. So they decided to have a late band. So the Duck would play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? So Friday and Saturday, the Duck would end at midnight, and then I'd come on at 12:30 with this other band, Harry Rivers Band, and we played 12:30 to 3. And so I got to know the Duck guys, because I did that for 3 years, I think. That was, I was playing guitar in that band. So Tom offered me the gig on guitar, but that was before I realised, it was later, I realised that as soon as Tom had a few drinks, he'd offer the gig to anybody that he was drinking with, But then one night I came in and I sort of came in to do the late gig and I sort of was a bit tense, There was a bit of a tension there because usually I got in to see the last bit of this last set of the Duck. So in those days the Duck was Chris Quah, Col Nolan, Tom Hare, Greg Foster, and I think it was Len Bernard on the drums. Yeah, pretty sure. And that was a good band, yeah. But they had some internal problems, that happens.
Internal politics.
Internal politics, largely fueled by, too much of everything, mostly alcohol. And
back in those days, was alcohol provided free for entertainers?
At the Basement, you got three or four. It was way too many, whatever it was. Might have been 5 each, little tickets that got you a free drink.
Okay.
Because there was no breathalyser, Scott. The breathalyser hadn't been heard of.
And people smoked in the venue?
Oh.
And there were no noise restrictions?
No noise. Well, where the Basement was, it was cool anyway because there was nothing around there at night. But, yeah, the atmosphere, I don't know how we ever made it. I think it was, you could not see,
From cigarette smoke?
Yeah, cigarette smoke. And
were you a smoker yourself?
I was, yeah. I was. Stupidly. And upstairs they had these white windows and he opened them up one time and it was just black. From the window sills. Black from the cigarette smoke. Yeah.
Wow.
That was crazy. Yeah, so anyway, I came in this night and it was, that's like I said, the atmosphere was a bit tense and they'd had this giant blue and everybody resigned and Tom was firing people. He was firing waitresses and he was firing everybody. And so usually what happened when I found out later after being in the Duck that they'd have a big fight and the next day it was back to normal. Like you had to forget that day's gone. But this didn't happen this time. It was serious, and there was a big split. And so eventually he offered me the gig on the bass. So, yeah, I kind of went no a couple of times, and then I said, oh, yeah, okay. So, because it was a pretty good gig, you know, it was like...
Did it pay well?
Yeah, it paid great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Paid really well. So 4 nights a week, and then we used to get other work too, you know, and only do other work if it paid way more than the basement. So, you know, it paid pretty well. And I guess I didn't know then. It was the best gig I've ever had, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How long did you do the basement with the Duck for?
So that was 81 to about 89.
Wow, so that was quite a stint.
Yeah, quite
Wow.
a stint. And I
What
mean,
other changes did you see happen during that time?
you mean music-wise?
Well, personnel-wise within the band and music-wise as well?
The band changed. The only person that stayed was Greg Foster, the trombone player. So he and Tom were the same. And Tom had added another player because they opened a new club up at overlooking the docks, which is now Barangaroo. But it was up on Kent Street, I think it was, and in a place called Gas Lane, and it was called Gas Lane. Lovely spot. Look, had the windows looking out over the, you know, Darling Harbour and everything. But they moved the Duck up to there and put another band in the basement, but it just didn't really work as well because the basement was right in the middle of the whole heart of the town, right down near Circular Quay. So you'd have people come for dinner and listen to the music, and that was good because they'd be listening and it was great. And then all the pubs had closed and the opera house had closed and the theatres had closed and everybody come down for a drink. So you'd get this other huge crowd, which would go through to midnight, and then the late band, you know, would carry on.
So you had a ready-made crowd a lot of the time?
Most of the time, yes.
People didn't have to go out of their way to get there?
No, it was right in the middle of it. Gas Lane, unfortunately, was a little bit out of the way, so you had to actually go there, you know.
Yeah.
So it didn't work quite as well. Although it was a beautiful club, yeah. So Tom, the band leader of the Duck, also owned the basement.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hence why firing... Wait.
That's why he's firing everybody, yeah. So him and Bruce Files, who they met down the snow in when the bear started down Charlotte's Pass, and they were sort of partners. And so they built the basement. Tom loved he loved carpentry more than playing the saxophone. Really, he just loved it, and he did all this beautiful panelling. And if people remember the basement had timber panelling all the way around. That was because Tom loved doing that. Loved doing panelling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get to record with Galapagos Duck?
Yeah, we made, I don't know, 5 or 6 albums, I think. The first one for Peter Noble was the, you know, the guy that runs the Byron thing. Yeah, he produced the first one after I joined. They had about 4 or 5, I think, already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're quite productive.
Yeah. We used to make one every couple of years, or I think every year at first. And then we made about 3 albums for the ABC, and then we made some more that later. I think the first one's for festival. And then the ABC.
Who was the main songwriter while that was going on?
Oh,
did everybody have a contribution?
Everybody had a bit of a contribution, yeah. Some of them are attributed to Galapagos Duck. Bob Egger, the then keyboard, used to make some. Greg wrote some, I wrote some. And some of them were collaborations. Yeah. And some of them were just some of our repertoire.
Oh, okay.
So
just standards?
Usually, look, I can't really remember, Scott, to be honest. I was doing a radio interview one time and they played this thing and I have no idea what that is or what album it's from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, you just forget.
How often did you rehearse? Was there such a thing as rehearsal?
Yeah. When I first joined the band, we rehearsed every week. And we got a lot of material down and, you know, good material. And, we rehearsed it. But then, Tom sort of lost a bit of interest because he, you know, I was saying how he loved building. He bought a house and then he used to put more energy into building this bloody house, you know. But, you know, we still put a fair bit of work into it.
Yeah. What happened for you after the Duck? And what was the reason for leaving Galapagos Duck?
Well, I haven't left. I'm still in it.
Oh, you're still in it?
Yeah.
With Rod?
Yeah.
Who's in the lineup now?
It's me, Rod, Dave Spicer, keyboard player, Mal Wood, trumpet,
yeah.
Adam Thomas,
All
saxophone.
great players.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably the best it's been for a long time now, just between you and me. But
And are you playing bass still?
yeah. Yeah.
You haven't been tempted to move to guitar?
I have been, but no, I haven't. I haven't done it. Yeah. I used to play much more guitar when I first joined, there were two keyboard players. Mm-hmm. So one of them could play keyboard bass. So that worked well.
Yep.
And then after that, Tony Ansell came into the band. Have you heard of Tony?
I have heard the name.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
He was, he used to do just about all the sessions in Sydney. And he wrote the ABC television theme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one that they just brought back with the trumpet. Yeah, he wrote that. And and he was genius on keyboard bass because he did it for years and years at the Texas Tavern in the Cross.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a trio, and that's what he did all the time. He played keyboard, bass, and he was fantastic at it. So that I could play guitar then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Richard Booth played when he was in the band. He played very good bass too. So, but at the moment, it's really it's not possible really. Yeah.
89 and the basement finishes up. You move on from there.
Yeah.
Is that when you go up to the other venue? And how long did that last before you've left that environment?
What happened was the building was pulled down. So the building was sold. Mm-hmm. And then, so the basement closed. We went eventually to the Real Ale Cafe, which was up in King Street. We were there for a few years. And then Chris Richards, who'd been a manager at the basement, opened this new place in that brasserie. He managed to get into there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we moved back in there, yeah. We stayed there for a while, but then he wanted to change. So he wanted to change out of the jazz more to sort of funk and everything. So, yeah. But we were still working pretty hard.
Did you ever travel overseas with music?
Yeah.
Was that with Galapagos Duck?
Yeah. Yeah. Originally with Winifred Atwell. Have you ever heard of her?
No.
No. She was England. She was in England, but she was West Indian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she was a really good honky-tonk piano player. Although she could play everything, she could play the classics and all that. And have you ever seen that program Pot Black?
Yeah.
You know the music?
Yeah.
That's her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Black and White Rag. That was her big hit. Yeah. So, I played with her for 5 years, I think. But we went to Hong Kong and to Indonesia and, New Zealand, I think, Vila. Yeah, that was pretty good. And then the Duck, we did Southeast Asia. We did big tour of Australia, every state, all the way around.
Yep.
And then we did, where do we go? Mostly in Asia. Yeah. So Vietnam, Laos.
Is that because those places enjoyed the jazz music more?
No, I don't think so.
What was the attraction for the band to go and do those places?
Well, it was that particular tour was for the Foreign Affairs Department, and it was like a goodwill gesture to Asia, And they had a thing where they'd swap, they'd send some of their people, and the Foreign Affairs Department would send an Australian band, you know.
So how does something like that come to be? Like, so it's a foreign affairs exchange
Yeah.
program.
I know, it sounds weird, doesn't it?
How does that come to be? Is someone approached?
Oh, I think we were doing quite a bit of work for Music Aviva, and I think it probably came through that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they were, we used to do, Music Aviva sends music out to the country, and they help with the money and the touring costs and all that. And you would mostly play for arts councils,
Okay.
you know, out in sort of rural Australia, like Glen Innes, you know, Broken Hill, blah, blah, blah.
Sometimes there seems to be a lot more cultural events happen out in the
Oh, yes.
metropolitan areas that don't happen in the city.
Yeah, well, they happen, but people just can't be bothered going because it's too hard. Where do you get a park, you know? Yeah. Whereas in the country, it's, you know, it's parking everywhere.
And there's a lot of great, like, town halls.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
That are
some
just-
fantastic halls out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good, really great sound systems.
So that 2000 era where you were studying, were you playing as well as studying at the same time?
Yeah, yeah. I still had to play, try and make up some money here and there. The Duck was still going. We still had, you know, reasonable amount of work. And what else was I doing? Oh, I did some teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was taking a band, primary school band, which was fantastic. I loved it. And what else? Oh, you know, it just I was getting a bit of reading work in clubs and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was always good.
Backing artists?
Backing artists, yeah, yep.
What sort of artists would you back?
Well,
Can you remember some of the
yeah,
artists?
I can. Yes, I definitely can. Well, you'd have, you know, there was. I used to work for a company called Six Pack Productions that they did big shows of sort of ethnic music. So they'd do a Filipino show, they'd do a Chinese show, they'd do Russian show. They did a South American show. So that they'd have dancers, they'd have singers, they'd have not so much comedians in those ones.
I guess this is where the reading skills really came to the fore.
Yeah, it helped a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had to work on that a bit, Scott. I have to say.
Okay.
Because after playing in the Duck for all that, because we didn't have music, we just used to just rehearse it.
It was just improvised.
and play.
And play,
you know,
yeah.
we'd learn our stuff.
Yeah.
And so we didn't really have any music to speak of. And when I went back and did my first reading gig, I realised that all those years I'd been looking at this hand to see where, because when you read, you can't. You have to keep your eyes on the music. So I had to actually sit down and go, right, I got to learn how to like do that again, you know.
It is a skill that you have to maintain.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And it helps if you work on it a bit too. Yeah.
If you had to pick a highlight
Yes.
of all the things that you've done, what would that
Yeah.
highlight be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Look, I guess the highlight really was those years I spent at the basement. Like, I didn't know it then.
Yeah.
And I just treated it as another gig, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, but actually looking back, playing jazz for a living, you know, how good's that?
Yeah.
In the premier club in Australia, really.
Yeah.
And one of the best known clubs in the world, actually, later. So, yeah, that'd have to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen jazz clubs anywhere else in the world? Have you ever been to like a New York jazz club or a...
Yeah, been to the Village Vanguard and...
Did you ever get a
Burley.
chance to play over in those?
I didn't know. I didn't ever get a chance to play there, although the Duck did go there before I joined. They went to the States and they went to Europe. Yeah. Because their first album was pretty successful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and on the back of that, they got quite a bit of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and you know, that still carried through after I joined too. Yeah.
At some point, the band and you leave Sydney.
Yeah.
and you're here now on the Gold Coast.
That's right.
What prompted that move?
Oh, well, two of the guys in the band were already living here.
Ah.
Yeah, so Willie Quah and Will Sargison lived on the Goldie.
Yep.
Yeah, Will's a New Zealander.
Yeah.
And New Zealanders love the Gold Coast for some reason. Almost as much.
There's a lot of them here.
Almost as much as they love Bondi. Yeah. But and so when we rehearsed, I'd have to get them, if we had gigs coming up, I'd have to get them to fly down, and then they'd stay at my place, and then we'd rehearse, and then we'd go and do the tour or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'd come back here. And then we came up here on a tour, or the other way around, we came up, and I met a girl. I'll say no more. That old chestnut. Yeah, so, since half the band was here, I figured, well, the wheel had fallen off my marriage a year before. So that was, so I thought, might as well give it a go. So I moved up, and then Rodney Ford moved up about 6 months later. So basically the band was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they started dying on us and everything. So Willie Quah passed away, so that was the end of that.
He was a talented man.
Oh, absolutely.
Played multiple instruments
Yeah.
incredibly well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, played great drums. He was the original drummer in the Duck, and played a bit of saxophone. And then later on, he was the saxophone player that played a bit of drums. Yeah. So essentially, the band moved here. Yeah, it's great. Love it.
Are there any plans to record any new music with Galapagos Duck?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about it for ages, but yeah, we will. We've got to do a new. I want to record this band that we've got now.
It's a great lineup.
Yeah, it's a great lineup,
Lineup.
and a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to get that album out.
Where is somewhere coming up soon where people can go and see the band?
March at the Gold Coast City Jazz Club. Then we're doing a little tour up the coast later in March. Bundaberg, Harvey Bay and Noosa. And then the 23rd of May we're playing the theatre in Byron Bay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about highlights.
Yes.
What things have happened on the journey through playing music that you look back and go, God, I wish that hadn't happened?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
I mean, things do go wrong for all sorts of reasons.
Yes. Well,
and some things are minor and some things are major.
yeah. Well, I remember setting off. This is lack of communication. So we had a gig somewhere around here on the Gold Coast. I can't remember where. So I say to Will, I said, Rodney's got his keyboard, so you don't have to bring yours. Do you want to use Rod's? And he went, yeah. And he said, no, not tonight. I won't use it tonight. So we went and did the gig. He had his own. So the next day we set off, and we're going to Moree. Like, how far's that?
It's
3
7 hours?
Yeah, it's a long way. So we get... actually, I think the first gig was in Sydney, right? So we're driving, and we're already way past Newcastle or somewhere, And I go, I better check up. So I ring up Will. They're coming down. Oh, they're on the way. I said, Will, you're okay for the keyboard and everything? He said, oh, no, I'm using Rodney's. And we haven't brought it because it wasn't... He didn't use it the night before. So we've got no keyboard, Anyway, so we managed to borrow one in Moree. So I wish that hadn't happened. Yeah, that was just lack of communication, and then the PA broke down. It was so hot. It was 45 degrees. It was really hot.
Overheating.
Yeah. We did the sound check. Everything was fine. Turn it all off. Turn it on, and nothing worked. So luckily we brought a crappy little one with us. So we quickly put that in and it worked, you know. So we've got the dreadful keyboard and this PA. Oh, it was a nightmare. Yeah.
You would have done a lot of travelling.
Yeah.
Has it always been by car, and has there already been mishaps with vehicles and stuff as part of travelling?
Yeah. Yeah, there were always mishaps, you know. Cars used to break down, but they mostly got fixed, amazingly. Yeah, we never really had we didn't have accidents. We didn't have...
Which is very fortunate.
Yeah, we didn't have bad accidents, luckily. There was usually a car would break down, but it was something very simple that we could get fixed, you know, on the road, and off we'd go again. So, yeah, we did do a lot of driving, but generally speaking, I mean...
What parts of Australia haven't you been to playing music? Have you been to Perth?
Yep.
Been to Darwin?
Yep.
Alice?
Yes.
Adelaide?
Yes.
Tassie?
Yes. Yes. Lonnie, Hobart, Lonnie, Burnie, I think. Yeah. We did a tour right around it, but that was very early on. We did the Hobart Jazz Festival not that long ago. Yeah, so yeah, we've basically been all around Australia. Yeah.
Are jazz festivals really well attended these days?
Can be, yeah. There's different there are jazz festivals where it's more about amateurs or talented amateurs, you know, and you sort of pay a fee to be a part of it, and then you get to play with all these other bands. Well, we can't do that because we need to be paid. Yeah, no, there's still jazz festivals. Although, having said that, you know, the Darling Harbour Jazz Festival was superseded by a light show. Light shows have become way more sort of saleable than jazz festivals. I mean, the one down at Broady, that's gone. Yeah, so yeah, they're still around, but not as prevalent as previously. Yeah. The Blues Festival's been very, very popular at Broady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Is that something you get to play at?
Oh, I have, yeah, with the big band, but not the Duck. Yeah. I think we did the original jazz festival, yeah. The first one in Broadbeach.
Wow.
Yeah. They'd set up down near the highway there where the horse statue is, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There, they had set it up there.
What sort of future do you think that jazz music has?
Yeah. That's a good question too.
Like it has, it's amazing to me, like there was a point in time when it was incredibly popular.
Oh, absolutely. It was the pop music of the day back in, Benny Goodman, the big band era, the war years.
And I guess it's very difficult these days to have a big band.
Oh,
there's the band that plays around the coast, Sweet Thunder.
Yes.
But it's an expensive thing to put that many people together.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the big bands came around because originally jazz bands were 5, 6 piece or something or other. But then when they started, in the late 20s, going into the 30s, they started having bigger dance halls. And so
they need to make a bigger sound.
You've got to have you've got to have more people because there wasn't PA, there wasn't sound reinforcement.
Yeah.
That didn't come till later. So once that came along, you could ditch the big band, go back to, rock and roll 4 pieces,
Yeah.
So, it was all about the sound reinforcement.
So technology really has had a big effect upon...
Oh, totally, Scott.
What's
And you'd know more about that than I would, Like
Miles Davis was into technology.
Yeah.
And who's the keyboard player that...
Oh, like from Weather Report?
Maybe. No, I'm thinking more along the lines...
Oh, Chick Corea.
Chick Corea?
Yeah.
Very experimental in that area.
Well, using synthesizers, synths and I think jazz has kind of drifted into jazz rock, and so much of jazz has gone into the pop and rock music. Really. I mean, if you listen to, Quincy Jones did a lot of Michael Jackson stuff, and that's got a lot of jazz influence.
English singer Ray, who's a Brisbane guitar player Paul Murray is playing guitar in her band.
Oh,
But
wow.
that's
Yeah.
got a very jazz big band influence.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So
I mean,
it's
it's
still-
still there, but it's morphing, out of the sort of traditional. But you know,
I
things.
guess Michael Bublé sort of was for a while
absolutely.
there brought back. It was
Yeah.
quite popular with.
That's right. Yeah,
So
Michael Bublé.
it still manages to creep into.
Yeah, it still creeps in.
Yeah.
And of course, there's bands that are really pushing the boundaries of jazz too. But you know, you've got to look for them. You know, they're not. Although the Necks are playing at the Byron Theatre coming up. That's a very avant-garde Australian trio.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been going for a long time, but they're keeping it alive. Like I heard a big band recently, just made up of kids just leaving school. A bloke called Andrew Montfoy set it up because he realised that there was nothing for them to do after school.
Yeah.
There was no, so he set up these things, and I tell you what, it was really good.
Oh wow.
Really good big band, yeah. So, you know, there's a future.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it just takes someone with the motivation and the organisational skills to put it together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's a big thing to organise that many people.
Oh, totally, yeah.
It was like, what do they call it? Like herding cats.
Oh, yes. Tell me about it. It's bad enough with 5 people, let me tell you. Yeah.
Who takes responsibility these days with Galapagos Duck to do all the organisational stuff? Is that you?
Yes.
How did you come to acquire that role?
Well, it's a bit of a long story, but essentially, back when we were, I think we were still at the basement, and we had a lot of work, and our accountant said, look, you need to set up a company, right? And you need to put this needs to be done properly. You need a company and you need, So that's what we did, and we were all equal partners, right? And since then, people have left, died, walked away.
You're the last man standing.
I'm the last man standing. Yeah,
Wow.
that's how it really happened.
Are you teaching these days?
No, not teaching anymore. I went away for 12 months on the road in a caravan, and I decided during that time that I'm not going to teach anymore. Yeah.
So it's just more now about getting out and playing.
Yeah, getting out
And
and playing.
enjoying the playing.
Yeah, that's it.
Is
Do
there-
you teach?
I have at times done stints at it,
Yeah, what, like one-on-one or
mainly one-on-one.
one-on-one, yeah. Or like guitar group kind of thing or...
Guitar group, maybe no more than 2 or 3.
Right, okay.
It's not something I've done very much of, and it's not something that I felt that I was particularly good at.
Right. Did you enjoy it though?
Not really, no.
No, neither did I.
Not really. I mean, I know people who really do enjoy it.
Yeah, so do I.
And it's
I know
just-
people that love it.
Yeah.
I know. It's just... Look, I'd like taking the
I just
primary
feel it's
school
really,
band,
I think people have interesting, different skill sets.
yeah,
And some people are very patient and know incredibly well how to take the information that they have
Yes.
and put it in an easily digestible format for other people.
yep,
And I think that's a real skill.
absolutely.
And it's just one of the skills that I don't have.
I mean,
I
look,
think if I really wanted to, I could develop that skill.
I'm
but
sure you
I'm
could.
just,
absolutely.
It's never been. It's never been one of those things that I really wanted
Yeah,
to do.
exactly. And I think you do have to want to do it, And I mean, you probably would have had students that were really good.
Well, generally, I had very, generally beginners.
Okay, right. That's tough.
Well, it's hard
Kind
to
of.
dumb down what you know to,
Yes.
like I say, some people are really good at putting things into small, digestible
Yeah.
pieces. And I think what the problem that I had is I was trying to impart too much information
yes.
at once.
Yeah, it's very easy to get to do that, isn't it? Yeah, when you know it, kind of, you think it's easy. But
Yeah.
yeah. It's
But
like
you
when
forget
somebody,
you forget what it's like to be starting out.
it's like when your maths teacher's teaching you differential calculus. For them, it's easy. But yeah, I did have students that I really enjoyed because they were really great, they're really good, and worked on it. you know.
Yeah.
And that kind of was, that made it kind of worthwhile. But
The little bits that I have done, I think
Yeah.
were actually very beneficial for me
yeah,
because that made you
Absolutely.
think about the things that you do and how do you put them into a format that someone else can understand.
Exactly right.
And it
Yeah.
actually it helps you understand yourself.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
totally. And understand what your technique should be. and yeah.
Yeah, no, it can certainly enlighten that you've got lacking in certain areas.
Yeah, and how to impart that knowledge to this other person.
Yeah. Did you ever do the dip head or when you did your degree?
No. And like I probably should have, but I thought if I do something that I like, I'll keep it up. And I did enjoy doing composition, but I probably would have preferred to do the teaching one really. But no, I never did get a dip head. But by the time I got to the end of that, I thought, I don't really want to teach anyway.
And you were getting plenty of work.
I had plenty of work then.
A lot of people, I think, that go into teaching, it can be a safer, easier route in an industry where if you're not playing enough to earn a reasonable income,
Yeah.
teaching can give you that.
Yes, that is so true. It papers over the cracks. I mean, you know.
It papers under the cracks.
Well, you know, you get work and then there's no work. For
It's
some
very...
reason, you know.
Throughout your career, has work been relatively consistent? Has there ever been a time when you thought, this is too hard, I'm going to give it away?
I think there might have been, yeah, a couple of times. Like, you know how for no apparent reason the work dries up. Mm-hmm. And you think, you know, this is a bit hard, you know, because...
You just don't know whether...
You just don't know where the next dollar's coming from.
Yeah.
And you've got expenses, you know. The expenses don't go up and down. Well,
No.
they sort of stay pretty
Well,
much.
they
Yeah.
steadily,
Yeah, and steadily go,
climb as time goes by.
But yeah, I think you're right that teaching does sort of, yeah, like
A great source of revenue in an industry that can be very sporadic.
yeah, can be very sporadic. Yep. I mean, guys have got different ways of coping with that, haven't they? You know, like you've got a studio, that probably helps.
Well, one of the things that I have done in order to maintain a consistent workload is diversify.
Yeah, exactly
And
right.
part of teaching, I guess, could be part of a diversification.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
But for me, it was, I do have a little bit of a thing where I love tinkering with gear.
Yeah.
And so suffer from gear acquisition syndrome.
Oh my God.
And, you know, I've managed to acquire lights and PAs and lots of guitars and amps and drums.
This is guitar acquisition syndrome on another level,
Yeah,
Scott.
it is a bit. But the great thing about that is that it affords you to delve into areas like this.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Part of it was because I was interested.
Yeah.
And the other part of it was I could actually see that, well, here's another way to earn
Exactly
income.
right. Yeah.
So there's
totally.
a double-edged part of it. I
Yeah.
guess in some ways it's a great thing. In others, at times I look at some of friends of mine who are single-mindedly focused
Yes.
on being a musician.
Yeah.
And they're incredibly good at it.
Yeah.
And I wonder from their point of view
Yeah.
if the consistency and the things that they've managed to do musically in life,
Yeah.
if they'd been sidetracked by some of the things that I've been sidetracked by,
Yeah.
whether they would not have achieved the
Yeah.
same level of
Well, that's a very
musicianship.
interesting question. Yeah. And yeah, it's a tough one.
Because you've got to make, in order to be a full-time musician, it's quite a sacrifice.
Oh, you've got to work your butt off. Mm. You have to. You have to put the time and effort into it. Yeah. And it's not really an easy road.
No. But it's an enjoyable one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If you had to change any one thing,
Yeah.
or if there was any one decision that you've made that you would go back and change, what would that be?
I'd like to be more. I'd like to be more focused on practicing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to increase your own skill level?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that about more the
I mean-
facility of playing or more about the knowledge?
Or
or
both. Both.
Both.
And I'm like I've done heaps of practice. I mean, you have to. But I have noticed that totally single-minded, like the people, like the Chick Coreas, the weather reports, the Joe Zawinul, those sort of people. That's all they do. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Like Andrew Firth. I don't know whether you know him, he's a clarinet player. Probably he's right up there in the top of the world. He lives in Newcastle, but that's all he does. He writes charts, really good charts, really quick, and he plays the clarinet, but he doesn't do anything else at all. And he does those two things really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's only a small amount of room for the incredible, like there's only one Chick Corea.
Yeah.
And there's probably not enough space. If there was 1,000 Chick Coreas out in
Yeah.
the world,
Yeah.
there's just not enough. There's not a big enough market out there for maybe, or maybe there is.
Maybe
It's
there
hard to-
is.
it's hard to know.
It is hard to know.
It's a lot of dedication
Yeah, massive amount of dedication.
and
yeah.
belief in yourself too, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Self-belief.
Yeah, belief, self-belief, and an ability to focus and work hard.
When you were doing the Duck at the basement,
Yeah,
I would imagine, because you're playing 6 nights a week.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
So that's a lot of, and then rehearsing as well.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
still
it's a lot
quite
of playing.
That's
It's
a lot of playing.
That's right.
So when you're playing that often, I would imagine the skill level and the tightness
Yeah.
of the band as a musical entity
Yeah.
would have been pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Even though we kind of, I listen to recordings now and go, oh yeah, it was pretty tight.
Yeah.
But then we were doing it every night.
Well, this is the thing I was going
know.
to get to, I guess. How often are you playing these days?
Well, not as much as that, but I've got enough to keep my hand in, and some of it's really fun. But I do have to practice. Yeah, I've got to practice, especially on the double bass, because you can lose. If you lose muscle fitness on that, it turns a gig into a nightmare. Yeah.
Well, I saw you just recently, and I was doing, and you were doing a similar gig at SeaWorld.
Yeah, that's
where I
right.
played every day
yes,
for a long stretch.
that's right.
And I got to
Yeah.
say, I've noticed
Yeah,
it really has made a difference
Yeah.
to my playing skills.
yeah. Well, there you go.
It really has
Yeah.
lifted my
Yeah.
level of playing.
And it's interesting you say that, because playing a gig is different than sitting in your
It
in
is.
your room, isn't it?
It is. It's very
and
different.
you've got to come up with the goods, and so you have to put that effort in. And so yeah,
Yeah,
good
and I
point.
guess it's a
Very good
routine.
point.
It's there every day. The other thing for me, being a guitar player, was I'd never really done a gig that was all acoustic guitar.
right. Okay,
I mean, I've done gigs with acoustic guitar, but it might be
Yes.
just one set, but
Right.
not
the whole gig.
the whole gig.
Yeah,
Acoustic guitar.
Great.
And I don't know how many people who are listening to this play a guitar.
Yeah.
But acoustic guitar does take its toll on your fingers
oh,
quite a bit more
totally.
than an electric guitar does.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So you've got to,
Yeah.
you've really got it's the calluses are well worn in at the moment.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I noticed that first day down there with Mel and the drums. That my fingers were a bit sore. I was going.
How many days in a row did you do that gig?
I only did. I did. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I did 6.
You did
Yeah,
6.
but you did what? 20 was it?
20 something.
22, mate. You'd be firing by the end of that.
It felt funny, actually, the first day that I actually had off when I'd finished it.
Yeah.
It was sort of odd because it was like, oh, I don't have to get up and rush off to a gig today. And it was a weird thing because I was really hanging out for the end of it, but by the time I got to the end of it, it was like,
what am I going to do
wouldn't mind
today?
get up and go and do a gig today.
How was the first gig?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was a little bit apprehensive because, like I say, I hadn't done a whole gig, but it was great. The thing about, the thing I loved about that gig was it's very family oriented at SeaWorld. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of young kids.
Yes.
And one of the things that was wonderful is, because I don't do a lot of gigs for young kids, audiences.
Yeah.
And young kids love music.
Right.
They love it.
Yes.
You come in with the parents and they'd sit down. And
Yes.
you'd have a toddler sitting in a baby high chair.
Yeah.
And they'd be screwing their head around
Yes.
and watch and nod.
Yes.
And then kids would come up and they dance on the.
Yeah.
Kids love music.
They love music, and
they
they
really
don't.
do.
They don't really care whether it's rock,
No.
or what it is. They're not like when they get to teenage, it's got to be this, or it's not, or it's
Well,
hopeless.
they haven't
But
been. They
no,
haven't been corrupted by
that's right.
society's
Exactly.
influences.
Yeah, no, it's really
just pure. It's just such a lovely thing.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Well, let's leave it on a good note.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for spending some time with me today, John.
Thanks, Scott.
That's
Good on you.
bloody good. It'd be great to have you back in the studio sometime soon, hopefully.
Yes, let's hope so. Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah.
We'll be.
Thank you for hanging around and watching. And I'll put links below for Galapagos Duck
Yeah.
and all the stuff. And you can go along and see the band. It's an experience well worth doing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next podcast.
Bye.
Thanks, bloke. That's freaking awesome.
That was great. Very nice question. Very hard.